I actually envy you for renting, my friend told me, right after she closed on a $550,000 house. I told her the feeling was mutual. When I move out of my apartment, I'll have $0 to show for it. She smiled. Give it a decade. You'll still be renting. I'll own a house outright. 3 months later, she texted me something different. I don't even know what money looks like anymore. So, who's actually right? I was sure she'd already won. So I rebuilt both our finances, dollar for dollar, in the exact same spreadsheet. It didn't give me an opinion. It gave me a verdict, and one of us was wrong by almost $200,000. We've all been taught the same lesson since childhood. Renting is throwing money away, and buying a house is the responsible, grown-up, wealth-building move. I believed that too, until that text message. So let's open the spreadsheet and actually find out what happened to her money. House price, $550,000. 20% down means a $110,000 down payment and a $440,000 mortgage. As of mid-2026, the average 30-year fixed mortgage rate in the U.S. sits around 6.5%. At that rate, her monthly principal and interest payment comes out to roughly $2,780. Add property taxes, around 1% of the home's value annually, about $500 a month. Add homeowner's insurance, around $210 a month. Total so far, $3,490 a month before a single thing breaks. And things broke. Within her first year, she had to replace the windows, $7,500. Then redo the flooring across the entire main floor, $15,000. Her kitchen counter is next, around $1,200. That's $23,700 in repairs, specifically on her house in year one. Here's the detail worth pausing on. That exact number, $23,700, is also the national average that homeowners spend per year on costs beyond the mortgage. Her bill isn't a coincidence of bad luck. It's the textbook average, dollar for dollar. Whatever you think happened to her, it's happening to most homeowners in this country right now in year one. Now compare all of that to my rent, $1,400 a month. Repairs included permanently by definition, because they're not my problem to solve. So what if instead of buying, you took that $110,000 down payment and invested the monthly gap between her real costs and my rent into a low-cost index fund every month instead, at a long-run average return of around 7% a year after inflation over 10 years? The $110,000 lump sum alone grows to roughly $216,000. The monthly gap, invested consistently, grows to somewhere between $400,000 and $440,000, depending on exactly how the repair years play out. Combined, that's a portfolio worth somewhere around $620,000 to $660,000. Fully liquid, accessible in 3 business days if you needed it. But before you tell your homeowner friends they made a mistake, here's what the renting math leaves out. Leverage. My friend put down $110,000, but she gets 100% of the appreciation on the full $550,000 house. At a conservative national average appreciation rate of around 4% a year, her house is worth about $814,000 after 10 years, $264,000 in pure appreciation. On top of that, her mortgage payments chip away roughly $67,000 of principal over that decade automatically, without her ever having to think about investing it. Down payment, plus principal paid down, plus appreciation, her home equity after 10 years comes out to roughly $441,000. So here's the actual scoreboard. Renting and investing the difference, around $650,000 fully liquid. Buying with 20% down, around $441,000, mostly illiquid, tied to one house in one city. On paper, renting and investing wins by more than $200,000. But notice the word I used twice in that last section. Investing, not saving, investing on purpose every month for 10 straight years, without skipping it during a rough month and without panic selling during a downturn. In real life, that almost never happens. Money people could invest but aren't required to invest tends to quietly get spent, not on anything dramatic, just slowly, on things that never show up on a budget. A mortgage payment is mandatory. An investment contribution is optional. Optional financial habits have a terrible track record against rent that's due on the first of the month no matter what. This is the actual reason the mortgage often wins in real life, even when the spreadsheet says it shouldn't. It forces discipline that most people would never apply to themselves voluntarily. But here's what nobody tells you about that discipline. It only protects you against the mortgage payment. It does absolutely nothing to protect you against the $23,700. My friend had the discipline to make every mortgage payment on time. She had zero discipline left, $0 left for the windows, the floor, and the counter, because every dollar she had went into proving she could afford to buy, not into proving she could afford to own. So who actually won? Here's the verdict the spreadsheet gave me. By the math, renting and actually investing the gap wins. By a real and significant margin, over $200,000 over 10 years. That part isn't ambiguous. But almost nobody captures that number. For the exact same reason, almost nobody hits their gym goals in January. The mortgage enforces its discipline automatically, and the index fund doesn't. That's not an argument for waiting forever to buy. It's an argument for being honest about which kind of discipline you actually have, and building the other kind on purpose before you need it. My friend didn't lose because she bought a house. She lost the month she stopped having a choice, the month the windows broke and there was nothing left in the account to absorb it. Renting isn't wasting money. Renting without ever investing, the difference is. And buying isn't building wealth automatically either. Buying without a separate cushion for the $23,700 is just renting from your future self at a much higher interest rate. So here's how to actually use this. First, calculate your real number, not the sticker price. Mortgage, taxes, insurance, plus a separate 1 to 4% annual repair budget. On a $550,000 house, that's $5,500 to $22,000 a year that needs to already exist, not get figured out after closing. Second, if you rent, automate the gap every single payday, no exceptions. Treat it exactly like a bill you can't skip, because that's the only thing that makes it behave like a mortgage payment instead of optional savings. Third, before you buy, fund 2 things, not 1. The down payment and a full year of the $23,700 sitting untouched in a separate account. If you can only afford one of those, you can't actually afford the house yet. You can only afford the down payment on it. A few weeks after that text, I showed my friend the spreadsheet. She wasn't upset. She just said something I think is the real verdict of this whole video. I guess I bought the house. I just never bought the year after. She might be right about herself. You might not be. And that, more than any number on this spreadsheet, is the real decision underneath rent or buy. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe and drop a hi in the comments. See you soon.